Hi, this is Benaifer Sepai
Julian town.
and today we are presenting our STEM Fair project for 2021, Bacteria on Grocery Cart Handles.
The goal of this project is to help inform people. Sanitation has become a top priority now with the pandemic, and safety is the highest standard. We plan to see if these grocery stores are living up to what they claim they are, which they claim they are like sanitizing every cart before and after, and keeping us safe. We are trying to figure out if they are by growing bacteria and seeing if they are hazardous to humans.
So going into the specifics of our experiment, in order to prepare, we bought sterile pre-made agar plates, so they already had the agar on them. We bought sterile cotton swabs, and we had 5 milliliters of distilled water in order to wet the swabs to get more bacteria upon arrival at the grocery stores. So we picked 4 grocery stores: Walmart, Target, Giant Eagle, and Costco. The reason why we picked these stores were because, I think in Cranberry or, in general Pittsburgh area, these are the stores that everybody goes to most. So we picked these ones to test them. It would be a fun experiment. When we got there, we just opened the sterile packets for each the agar plates and then the swabs. We wet the swabs and we took, we made sure we got as much of it on the swab as we could from the handle. And yes, we took 2 samples of each so that we could reduce the compounding factors. If one grocery cart handle was, reduce that error kind of. When we returned, we also collected 2 control groups, one from the sink drain and one from the toilet bowl. We let the agar plates sit in a room with heating and for about 7 days, and we took pictures of each, which you will be seeing very soon.
About right now, this is the first day. We come back, we labeled all of them to show which one is which, and so far, so good.
All right, getting into our first day of after we have collected our samples. None of the petri dishes have anything except for the sink drain one, which has surprisingly blown up a trail of bacteria everywhere the swab has touched. So
After this, we see continued progress with the bacterial sink drain colonies. They are growing and growing, and one dot has appeared on our second Walmart, the first company to have something grow on it.
yeah, so it looks like Walmart has the worst bacterial colonies from our research. And also, if you can't really see, but there are very minuscule ones as well, punctiform colonies growing in both Walmarts actually. So getting into day 3, the Walmart ones are still growing, and there have been a few that are appearing in Giant Eagle as well. And some have, well, not some, a lot have formed in the toilet bowl as well.
On the 4th day, nothing new really popped up. It's just business as usual. Bacteria colonies are growing.
Day 5, they continue to grow, and more punctiform colonies have begun forming in Costco 1, so that is a new one.
And on the 6th day, unfortunately, all colonies now have bacteria growing on them. Target has them. They all do, and now they're beginning to just grow.
Which we expected because, everywhere, bacteria is everywhere. It's just a matter of how much bacteria is where. So day 7, the colonies have all grown and we decided to take a closer look.
And the toilet bowl is a lovely mixture of red and yellowish looking bacterial colonies.
Our sink drain, as you can see, it's quite interesting.
More bacteria than free space.
Yes.
Costco has just quite a few small little dots, with one little notable exception that we'll get into later.
Walmart has quite a few different types of bacteria. As you can see, there's red, there's yellow, we kind of got the whole rainbow there, and we have this little white one off to the side, the ones with rings. Again, we'll get into that later.
Giant Eagle is a more tame version of Walmart. There's multiple types, multiple shapes, sizes, but yeah, not as bad as Walmart, but definitely interesting.
Target, we have really not much variety at all, which I think I like. But there are quite a few colonies, small little colonies about a millimeter in size.
And as a little fun bit of this experiment, we decided to figure out which bacteria is which if possible in order to gauge how deadly some of they could be. Because, like, say, Walmart, we saw had so many bacteria. If none of them were harmful, and say, Target, these ones were harmful, then there's an issue there. So we decided.
But at the same time, we do recognize that they are also definitely just hypotheses. We would have to, really bacteria test in order to. We just kind of took our observations into account and matched each one. So
Yes,
Julian will go ahead into
these
that.
are very tentative, of course, because there's so many types of bacteria. But our best guess for what these small, tiny white dots are, about a millimeter maximum, but a lot smaller, is Staphylococcus aureus. These bacteria do happen to be harmful to humans and easily transfer and are cause of many fast, deadly infections like MRSA.
Lovely. Going into our next one here, we have these larger, some of them are smooth, and then you see some of them have those rings, which they're called concentric when we're referring to bacteria. But these are two types of the Protus vulgaris or Bacillus subtilis. So yeah, you can see each of that in Walmart, and then this one is in Costco, that pressed in the middle. Yep.
This was a fun one to note because this bacteria is known to be found in humans. Uh, Now that we're looking at these more interesting ones to look at, we have like these red ones and yellow ones. Unfortunately, you can't get much information out of these colors alone and these colony shapes alone. There are so many different types that happen to be these colors. You would have to do a lot of further bacterial testing, which unfortunately is not very easy to do.
Looking at these larger, a little bit smoother dots right here, these are actually not even bacteria, they're yeast colonies like Candida albicans. But they're common on the hands, so that makes sense.
Another type of bacteria, or these, well, not even bacteria, see, a little tricky, is another type of yeast, a pink yeast known as Rhodotorula glutinus. There's these big, fuzzier colonies. They're they are kind of infectious, but not exceptionally dangerous.
Going into our conclusion, after weighing in both the number of colonies and the effects of the, kind of our hypothesized bacteria that might have on the humans that interact with them, we have kind of a ranked list, to say the safest is Target, with the colonies being very mild, and not much variety. Close behind is Costco, with just a few more, a little bit more of a variety, but not much. Um, and then, Giant Eagle has quite a vast range of different colonies, but our worst here is definitely Walmart's. It started out, colonies have started growing very first, and there were a lot of variety in there. There were a lot of bacteria we couldn't even identify. So this is supplemented by the number of bacteria found inside the body, as there are a lot. And let it be noted that these were claimed to be sanitized due to COVID-19 policies. So this is after they claimed to sanitize them. It goes to show the omnipresence of bacteria.
Obviously, the worst ones overall were the controls, seeing as they weren't ever wiped down with anything,
Well, I
which,
wouldn't say ever.
okay, well, they were not wiped down within minutes of us
I would
taking the
like to
samples.
think that I am hygienic, but Moving on.
But yeah, these are some of the sources that we used here.
Especially for our comparison pictures in terms of bacterial colonies.
Which you would find surprising. It is quite difficult to find a registry of like bacterial colonies based off of images alone, which I'd say is probably one of the hardest parts of this project, besides the look we got during this, in the collection at least.